Hey, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, and I thought it was time for an update. Actually, I realized it was time for an update because where did I leave off with the L Glutamine and the magnesium? I just kind of like left y'all hanging, right? I'm gonna give a full update on taking the magnesium. I'm gonna start with the L Glutamine since I'm completely done with that. And then I'm gonna share another supplement that I started using and how it's been going so far. It's been about a month, and let me just say, there is an absolute learning curve. We're gonna get into that in a second, but let's start off with the L Glutamine. So L Glutamine, you probably saw it everywhere, like on TikTok at one point, like all the girlies are talking about it, all the gym baddies, etc. Naturally, I was like, well, let's just see what this is all about. It's supposed to be helpful with inflammation, gut health, bloating, all the stuff that we don't want anything to deal with. And if you do remember from my original video, L-glutamine, or actually glutamine, is something that our bodies do produce on its own, but those levels can actually waver depending on how much stress is going on in your body. I started taking it in tandem when I was working out, and the goal was just to see what effects it would have on me as someone that didn't think I bloated an obscene amount, but did have some moments where those did occur. If you want like a full breakdown of L-glutamine and magnesium, you can check out the other video where I had first started taking them, and I believe it was like a 3-month update or something like that. Now that I'm done with it, what I was most curious about was what was gonna happen after I completed. Like, was my body going to get back to realizing that it doesn't have enough glutamine and it was gonna go chaotic or whatever? I wasn't sure what was gonna occur, but I'm happy to say the transition was pretty smooth. I did not notice any like adverse effect. The main thing that I recognized and mentioned in the last video was that there's like a what's the word? Satiated feeling after you eat and stuff like that. Like, I didn't feel like I was getting full faster per se, but I felt like I knew when I was full, and that would actually carry me longer than say when you eat and then like 3 hours later like you're starving. Now I do remember seeing that the powder form was apparently different than the pill form. If you remember, I took the pill, I did not do the powder. Powder to me is probably that it hits the bloodstream a little faster, and maybe those measurements are a little bit stronger. Another thing that was really interesting is that people were talking about sugar cravings and how like L-glutamine was supposed to hinder that. I would say like maybe that might actually be a thing, because I didn't find myself, in general though, I don't find myself like obsessing over sweets or sugar or anything unless it's like that time of the month. But I feel like that same feeling of feeling full is probably associated to that, where like your mind is not focused on like, when's the next time I'm eating, or like, oh my gosh, everything around me looks so great. But that's also like a self-control issue, and that's a whole nother thing. So to pretty much recap, no massive changes once I came off of it. It's now been like a month or two since I think I've taken L-glutamine. No crazy changes, no reverting back, no I'm suddenly bloating and this is the worst thing in the world. But one thing about the L-glutamine, or glutamine in general, in your body is that it just depends on how much is already in there and what you're doing to counteract it. So if you're consistently working out, consistently eating right, and taking L-glutamine, like, you should be good. If you're taking L-glutamine and not working out, or taking L-glutamine and not changing your diet whatsoever, like, I think you might have a little bit more of more trouble with that, because you're not doing anything else to assist it. Overall, I felt like at least it kept me regular. Is it something I would buy again? No. I don't have any major goals with it. I also started taking something else, so that could be why, but nothing like catapulted me towards wanting to go through it again or feel like it was really such a giant game changer to me, but that could be different for someone else. Now, the game changer I think we all know that I loved is this magnesium. Oh my gosh. So my magnesium update is that I'm still taking it and I enjoy it so much. So here's the magnesium bottle that I have. I have magnesium glycinate. This is not the one that's gonna make you go or make you sit on the toilet like all day, every day, like some other magnesium. So make sure you do your research on figuring out the right one that's for you. This one is the 400 milligram capsules. There's 180 of them, so this is a 6-month supply. I still got a good amount left, which is awesome. I mean, looking at my little pill organizer, and that's in here, I still probably have like a little over a month or so. Now, magnesium is really good for your sleep. It's good for relaxation. It's good for your muscles. It's good for if you have anxiety. I'm not someone that has insomnia, so once again, this is not one of these miracle cures or whatever, but I have noticed a difference in my sleep from using this. I told y'all the crazy thing about how when I take certain supplements or vitamins, like it disrupts my sleep and I'm like waking up super early. So I wanted to have the magnesium to counteract if that was going to happen with like the L glutamine or anything else that I'm taking. And it's definitely been great. I have a full night's sleep. I feel well rested and relaxed in the morning. I feel like ready, set, go. I love this so much. I just take one pill. The thing that I changed from the last time is that I used to take it and literally go right to sleep. And I decided to start backing that up, that time frame, to maybe I take it like 1 hour before I go to sleep. I feel like an hour before gives it time to make its way through my body, and you know, then I'm ready. It's ready to do what it needs to do as I'm going to sleep. So I just kind of switched it to move it a little sooner, especially as a professional dancer and as someone that was consistently working out. That muscle recovery is so important. So adding in the magnesium, I feel like would be a great asset so that you have that time for your body to reset and get yourself ready to go, so you're not like, you know, succumbing to like muscle soreness and cramps and all of that stuff from working out so consistently. I am curious though what would happen when I get to the end of the magnesium glycinate if I don't take it anymore, like what major changes I would notice. I would say I do recommend it for someone that is consistently working out and looking for something on the muscle focus. You have sleep issues and you need some calmness, some relaxation. I would recommend it for you as well. If both of those things are you, then this is definitely a one-stop shop, which I think is convenient. Sure, there's different levels and dosages, but I usually like to keep things minimal, and I do feel like I have noticed a difference in when I have taken it versus prior to when I would get like a night's sleep or something like that. And once again, you can see my previous video if you want to see a full breakdown of everything that magnesium has and the uses and the side effects and all that kind of stuff. I mentioned that in the original video, so definitely check that out. I'm just kind of breezing through all of that this time around. Okay, so the next thing that I want to chit chat about is Moringa. So this is the new supplement that I started taking. I did some research on it. I have like almost like a full bottle. This is the bottle that I have been using. Now there's a lot of information about Moringa, so I will take a moment to kind of skim through and give a little overview. I kind of stumbled across this after taking the L glutamine and wanting to see what else was out there for similar stuff in case, you know, the bloating came back or the inflammation. Moringa pills are from Moringa oleifera, I believe that's how you say it. It's antioxidant, it's anti-inflammatory. This boasts like so many nutrients in it, which I think is really fascinating. And one thing I saw in my research was that the entire leaf or plant of it, like the whole thing, is full of nutrients, which is amazing. It has vitamin A, vitamin B1, B2, B3. Apparently it has 7 times the amount of vitamin C that like oranges have. It has a ton of calcium, potassium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus. So it has a lot of things in it. This article is saying that it's good for protecting and nourishing your skin and hair, treating edema. Now this was really interesting to me, and I'll give a little backstory. So edema is when fluid builds up in your body tissues because of inflammation. And I actually have had an injury for a really long time, like since like I think I recognized it in February or so, but it basically is my big toe. I don't know why I think that's so funny. It's not. It's actually really annoying, but it's in my big toe. I had an MRI done and all of that, and it turned out I had like a very small tear, and I also had bone spurs, and it turned out as well that there was some edema going on in my toe, probably from dancing, and there was some sort of impact that occurred. I thought adding in the supplement would be helpful to work from the inside out, in addition to the things that I was applying it topically. The specific reason why I'm making this is because I want to warn you that, like I was saying with the magnesium, if you get the wrong one, you're gonna end up on the toilet. Now with the Moringa, because it's like a green superfood and it's very fibrous, you are gonna end up on the toilet, and that is a journey that you have to go on and a learning curve. So I am here to just say right off the bat, depending on how much you take, depending on how your body reacts, you may end up in there. And I actually did, and that was my learning curve in the beginning. I was like, whoa, okay, we gotta figure this all out. This is definitely something for people that are looking to remain regular at the very least. Now the serving size for this one is 4 capsules. I know for myself, I'm purposely not going to take 4 capsules to start, because in general I'm always like, that's a lot. Like someone's like, yeah, take 4 capsules a day. I'm like, easy. That's way too much. So I'm gonna half it. Now the interesting thing about Moringa when you look it up is that there's so many varying like suggestions on when you should take it. They're like, oh, if you have trouble with energy, then take it after lunch. If you have trouble with sleeping, take it before you go to sleep. Like, it's not very clear, so I'll just tell you my journey with it. I think the first time I took it after food. And I actually think for me that was like not a good idea because like I said, I immediately was like having the runs and needing to go to the bathroom. It wasn't immediate, I'd say like a couple hours later, which is so funny because I just took it this morning and I think it just naturally gets things moving along. So now it's in the morning, take it on an empty stomach, and that actually works best for me. Have my breakfast probably within like a half hour or an hour later, and then I go about my day. I think having a meal and then tossing that on top for me did not work. Here's what the Moringa pills look like in case you're curious. The only downside is that you'll definitely taste that like green, superfoody, strong greens type of taste to it. So there's an adjustment there, but I really love that it's a green superfood, and so far it is doing well. I really like it. I feel regular with it. I don't notice any crazy bloating or anything like that. Can't say I recommend it just yet because I've only been using it for a month, but it'll be one that I have to update y'all so that we can figure out if it's worth it or not. That is my video. That is my update on all of my supplements. I'm really only taking magnesium, Moringa, and I do take a B12 tablet that is like dissolvable, and I've been taking that for like years now. So yes, the magnesium, highly recommend. L Glutamine, like maybe depending on you, and then the Moringa, like if you want to wait and see, sure, but if you want to hop in on a green superfood, definitely go for it, but make sure you do your research. So thank y'all so much for watching. Let's have a conversation on supplements down below, and I will see you in the next one.